You're led by veteran players who can spark the offense like Rasul Butler. While the Scarlet Knights will use their size and Rashad Kent to dominate inside. It's the Big East taking on the Atlantic 10 as the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers take on a team seeing their home floor for the first time this year, the LaSalle Explorers. Next. Welcome to Tom Gola Arena here on the campus of LaSalle University here in Philadelphia. Tonight it is the Rutgers Scarlet Knights visiting the LaSalle Explorers. Hi everyone, Scott Graham along with Rob Kennedy, and whoever once said you can't go home again was right. At least if you're LaSalle through the first 7 games of the year. Billy Hahn, the new head coach, finally gets his first look at this gym.
Well, it's taken a while to get here. 14 days. They played 7 games on the road all over the place. The Virgin Islands, Iowa. Good to finally get here. For Rutgers, this is their first road game as well, so both teams in new territory.
In terms of what you got going on for Rutgers, they've got a brand new coach. They've won 4 of their first 6 games, and it's the big guy in the middle who's been leading them.
Well, Rashad Kent in his senior season is a guy who takes up so much space inside, and when you put the ball in his hands, he's going to make shots, especially when he gets easy shots like that. The all-time leader at Rutgers in field goal percentage, not shooting it as well this year as he has throughout his career, but what he continues to do is dominate the boards. You see right there, 3rd in the country in rebounding, something the Scarlet Knights do very well.
Those numbers are incredible in terms of what Kent has done on the glass. Now, you've got another player who we've been used to in the past seeing as an outside player, but Rasul Butler can now play inside as well.
Well, that's the thing. He's got terrific size, and he can put the ball to the floor. He creates tough matchup problems. If you guard him with a smaller guy, he can take you inside and post you up. He's also doing a terrific job on the backboards, just playing with so much more enthusiasm and energy this year under Billy Hahn. That's the biggest reason why it's not just his scoring numbers as he continues to score it at nearly 20 a game, but his rebounding numbers and his shot selection. 43% from three-point range because he's not forcing threes.
Well, we've seen it earlier in the year. He's the guy you want to go to late in the game. In fact, in their previous appearance here on CN8, LaSalle didn't get it inside to Butler, lost a game in overtime to Delaware. Now, as we get ready to come back, we will have the lineups and the opening tip for tonight's game. If it's not Butler, maybe it's Mike Cleaves who will handle the mantle for LaSalle tonight.
Kids today have big plans. What are you going to be when you graduate college?
A doctor.
University in Philadelphia. We get you ready for college basketball action tonight. Rutgers and LaSalle. Scott Graham, Rob Kennedy, and the 3rd man of our broadcast crew, who right now is courtside. Let's say good evening to Mick Moningoff. Mick.
Good evening, Scott. Hello again, everybody. Now, when you look at LaSalle, Rasul Butler is definitely the top gun. He averages 19 points a ball game. So recently I asked the senior if scoring will be his biggest role this season.
I don't think so. I think my role is going to be being a leader on the floor, being a team player, doing whatever it takes for us to win, whether it be me rebounding the ball or me getting the ball to the person that's hot that game, or, you know, defending the guy's other team. I mean, defending the guy on the other team that's doing the primary scoring for them. So I think that's going to be my role this year, doing whatever it takes to win.
And you saw the numbers. Rasul Butler, #1 in the A10 and the Big 5 in rebounding this season, so he can do more than score. Gentlemen?
Now, that is very much the case, and we saw that the first time that we saw Butler earlier this season, as we said, down at Delaware. Here, look at your lineups for this evening. For the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, Sherrod and Coleman are the guards. Dabney the center. Shields and Rashad Kent are the starting forwards for LaSalle. Quadri and Blanks in the backcourt. OKOSA the starting center. Jones and Butler are the starting forwards. And the new coach of LaSalle Explorers in his first season at the helm here at 20th and only, Billy Hahn. 4th season overall, 45 and 49, 3 and 4. Top spot for LaSalle this year, and as we said, coaching his first game in this arena. And the Rutgers Scarlet Knights settling it up. This is a team that has won 4 games in a row coming in. After an overtime win over FDU back on the 16th of November, they reel off 4 straight, including wins over Auburn, Stony Brook, and Loyola, Maryland.
Those last 2 games, what they did is they played great defense for Gary Waters, something he's known for here in his first season at Rutgers.
Now you see the mark. First season at Rutgers, as we said, but 5 years at Kent State, where he was 92-60. And his last 3 seasons, he won almost 74% of his games, including in one of those years, the 2000 NIT, in the quarterfinals. He beat Rutgers in the first round. That's the kind of thing that'll have an athletic director in a school taking notice.
They took notice, and then they went on the road to beat Villanova in the second round.
Not the first time these teams have met, but it is their first meeting since 1975. LaSalle leading the overall series 2-1. Mike Kitts, Tom Lopes, and William Bush are the officials for tonight's game. Scarlet Knights in their traveling red, LaSalle in the home white. We are ready to go here at Tom Gola Arena. Kent to tip off with Reggie OKOSA, the junior. And the Explorers controlling.
One of the keys for LaSalle is the play of the guy with the ball in his hands right now. Julian Blanks played well in the 2 games prior to going to Iowa, but then really struggled, shooting just 2 of 18 from the floor in the tournament out there, including an 0 for 11 stretch from beyond the arc.
Wayne Jones hitting on the first shot of the game, a 3-point jumper. And the Explorers with an early lead.
And Jones has seen his minutes diminish here the last few games with the emergence of Michael Cleaves. But one thing that Billy Hahn talked about was keeping Jones in the starting lineup. This is not a very deep team, and he didn't want to lose Jones in the rotation.
Jerome Coleman strokes a 3, and we're tied up. Pair of teams shooting just 39% from the floor on the year come out and hit their first couple. OKOSA can't hit the shot off the glass, and Dabney down with the rebound. Ricky Shields, a freshman, up at the top of the circle, and he'll try the 3-pointer. Dabney got the uncontested rebound, but his putback got blocked by Butler. And now a foul call as he takes it back in. And that LaSalle foul is going to go against OKOSA, his first.
Coming into the game, Gary Waters thought one of the keys for his team was offensive rebounding. See right here, one of the things that Rutgers does extremely well is clear the boards. When they get in transition, though, they're going to see zone defenses all season long, because this is not a team that shoots the ball very well.
Eugene Dabney, the junior out of Birmingham, hitting on the first. Just 3 out of 7 from the free throw line on the year this year.
Hard to imagine that your starting center gets to the foul line just 6 times in their first 6 games, but he plays away from the basket, more so in the high post than the low post.
You can do that when you got Rashad Kent down there with you. 2-point Rutgers lead. Quadri takes care of that and ties the game at 5.
Well, first time LaSalle saw full court pressure, did a terrific job of advancing the basketball with the pass. Quadri able to finish at the other end.
Crowd chanting for defense. The Explorers showing zone. Sherrod got it. Mike Sherrod, who is 0 for his first 13 on 3-point attempts this year, finally gets a 3-pointer.
What happens, you get wide open looks. No one's guarding them because of those numbers coming in. They're going to force E and Shields to hit it from the outside.
Sherrod right there on Blanks. The setup for OKOSA's 3, way short with it. And now Rutgers got the numbers to run. 3-on-1. The finish for Kent.
Well, nice job by Rutgers of going from defense to offense quickly. One thing they want to try to do is push the ball up the floor. This is not a very good shooting team, so you got to sneak as many easy baskets in transition as possible.
OKOSA. Take note of the fact that Butler hasn't had a touch yet, and now he finally does. On the turnaround, tough to defend, but can't hit the shot. And the rebound knocked out of bounds by Rashad Kent, a new 35, and the ball back on the inbound for LaSalle.
And to notice it's Shields who's drawn the assignment to try and stop Butler, giving up a lot of size. Butler's going to try and work him on the low post.
Jones thought about it. Now Butler with his back to the basket finds his way inside.
With that size mismatch, that's where he's got to go, into the low blocks. As you said, Scott, a guy who used to play almost exclusively on the perimeter, finding himself inside so much more this season.
There's Here's Jerome Coleman trying to feed the post, and Kent's not there.
Coleman's the one guy who's a terrific outside shooter. Got to find him in the zone.
They sure did. His second three-pointer, he's now got 6.
Well, he's taken 51 threes coming into the game, so this is a guy who's got a green light.
OKOSA answers with a two-fisted jam and gets the Explorers back within 4.
Well, neither of these teams known for their offense coming in, but both teams here in the first couple minutes doing a very good job of executing.
Again, Coleman from the outside. That one's not going to work, and Quadri with the basketball. Looking up the floor. And now OKOSA gets stripped on the way in. I believe they got Coleman for that foul, trying to make the strip down low. And that's going to send OKOSA to the free throw line to shoot 2.
Well, you talked about both teams executing. One reason is because they've been able to get out and run. A nice feed right there by Coleman is Kent's able to run the floor. And then the nice entry pass right there on the inside to OKOSA, who makes sure that he finishes strong. Been able to find him on the low blocks. A couple delayed breaks right there. He's given them a good presence offensively in on the low blocks, coming off a career-high 19 in the last game against Alabama State.
This, however, has been a weakness in his game early on, and he misses on the first. He's now 15 out of 34 for Billy Hahn from the free throw line.
Both these teams' big guys really struggle from the foul line. You look at Rutgers, Dabney and Kent, both very poor foul shooters. You're going to get the ball on the low blocks. You got to be able to convert from the line.
1 out of 2 for OKOSA, a 3-point game.
Salle showing half-court trap. One thing that they've done this season is mix things up defensively to keep people off guard.
Julian Blank's called on the reach, his first, team second. And Rutgers will inbound with that 3-point lead in the ball. Salle still showing the zone look, despite Rutgers hot shooting from 3 early. Shields feeding inside, and Kent in through traffic. Got 2 looks, now a third. And look at Shields over everyone for the rebound. Can't get the putback, and finally, on the 5th try, away it goes.
Now, Rutgers has dominated the boards on the season coming in, out-rebounding their opponents by over 10 a game. You see right there, very active on the offensive boards.
OKOSA fouled again on the way up. This time it is going to be on Rashad Kent. Oh, check that. Going to be the reach-in on Sherrod. So OKOSA back to the free throw line now, trying to get this back to a 3-point game. 1 out of 2 from the line. Junior transfer from Virginia Commonwealth. He'll have one more try. Former Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Delaware his senior season. Played at Brandywine High School. And 1 out of 2 for OKOSA. He's got 4. Timeout on the floor. Gary Waters has his team looking for their 5th victory in a row. They've come out shooting hot and dominating the offensive glass to lead it by 4.
It's official. Ford is extending 0% financing for a limited time. Ford drives America. And right now, we're leading the way with America's best sellers at America's best values. 0% on select Ford trucks, including Ford Explorer, Ford Expedition, Ford Excursion, and the #1
15:37 to go here in the first half of play. And these Scarlet Knights of Rutgers, as we said, have come out shooting hot, and they've also come out getting it done on the offensive glass. There's Ricky Shields, the freshman out of Upper Marlboro, Maryland, Markdale High School. Last trip down the floor. Look at that. 40 inches plus on the vertical leap.
Well, he went over top of everybody, and he's really starting to put it on right now for Rutgers. This is a guy who's a very good offensive player, but was concerned about learning the defensive schemes early on in the season. Coming off a career high against Loyola with 22 points and 6 rebounds. He's really starting to emerge here in his freshman season.
And Cleves makes an immediate impact coming into the ball game with the held ball. It'll belong to Rutgers with 29 left on the shot clock.
And that's where Mike Sherrod, as the point guard, is got to make a better decision coming out of the timeout. You see the half-court trap. Instead of backing the ball back out and skipping it over across the floor, gets right into the middle of the trap.
Sal's going to stick in that zone. Trying trying to guard against Kent, getting the ball in easy position inside. Trying to play a high-low game, nothing there. Shot clock under 10. And on the drive, there it is. Ricky Shields again.
That's when he's at his best, when he's putting the ball to the floor, utilizing his jumping ability to elevate over top the defense.
Butler tries to do the same, can't get it done, and Shields again leaping for the rebound. Sherrod in traffic, gets fouled by Cleaves, but before he did, he traveled with the ball.
Been a problem for Mike Sherrod, turning the ball over. Had more turnovers last season than assists, and once again this year comes in with more turnovers than assists. Not the numbers you want to see from your point guard.
Cleaves and Blanks playing on the outside. They're trying to free up Butler. And a foul call as Farmer set the screen. Dabney tried to fight through it, got called for the personal. So Eugene Dabney. He's going to end up leaving the ball game.
On the floor for the Scarlet Knights.
And coming out is Sean Oksani.
Look at the ball pressure that Cleaves is putting on right now.
From outside, Coleman. Wow. 3 times now he is hit from three-point range. 9 first-half points.
He's the leading scorer coming into tonight, and the one thing he does is shoot the ball from the outside. In that zone, you've got to adjust and shade to him.
Came around the down screen, had room inside. It got cut off, and the ball last touched Rashad Kent before going out of bounds. LaSalle get it back. There's the last play off the inbound. Jeff Farmer hitting a 3, but the answer right back the other way with Coleman.
Look at that. I mean, he's a good 4 feet from beyond the three-point line.
Farmer again. Got it again. A 2-point jumper this time.
Well, just keep running baseline out of bounds to Farmer, showing you some good confidence for the freshman.
A throwaway. Second turnover for the Scarlet Knights, but a double dribble will give it right back.
Well, good hustle by Farmer. You see Billy Hahn, he likes it. He wants his team to play with passion and energy, something they did on that possession. You come up with the steal, but then you give it right back by making a mental mistake.
5-point lead for Rutgers. The Scarlet Knights have shot well from the outside. Sherrod lost the handle, wanted to pull it back and couldn't. Now Quadri leading the break. Cleaves floating into the lane, Butler to follow.
Well, you see the confidence of Cleaves just going and attacking the basket. Butler right there to clean it up.
Coleman trying it again. And Kent right there for the glass, blocked cleanly by OKOSA.
Terrific defensive play right there. You see OKOSA trying to get the crowd back into it. Kent doing what he does so well, crashing the offensive glass, but OKOSA right there to block it away. Terrific timing right there, got all ball. And on offense, here's that confidence for Cleaves, attacking the basket. Butler doing a good job to get offensive rebounding position for the easy putback.
And a push-off going to be called on Jason McCoy as he shoved Farmer over near the sideline. His first, team's fourth.
Jason McCoy, his first personal.
New shot clock for the Explorers. They get an opportunity now to get within 1 or tie on this possession.
Rutgers fourth.
OKOSA lost the handle, but gets it back again. They're trying to find room to get to Butler. But Cleaves on the run, can't get it. Butler the putback again.
Well, once again, Butler moving without the basketball. Cleaves attacking, second time that we've seen Butler clean up one of his misses.
6 points now for Rasul Butler.
And Rutgers has had some problems with that half-court trap.
Coleman can't get the pull-up to go. Kent. And finally, the ball knocked out of bounds. And that brings us to a timeout on the floor. 11:52 to go here in this first half of play. It's been an end-to-end action. And Rasul Butler playing the inside game, the putback game. In the last 2 trips down the floor, Salle was 6-0 run over the last minute 52 to get back within a single point and offset some very strong early shooting from the Scarlet Knights. Largely from that man, Jerome Coleman.
He's the leading scorer coming into the game, the first recruit in the Gary Waters era here at Rutgers. And one thing that everybody knew about this guy is that he could shoot the basketball, but he's shown that he can do a lot more than that. And he's got terrific range out of this zone defense. Doesn't matter where he's at, they're going to have to spot up and find him.
There you see the numbers, 4 out of 7 for Rutgers in three-point range. 3 of them belong to Coleman. And out of the scramble, Butler got it back, and Kent knocked it over the end line. So LaSalle will get it back with a chance to take the lead.
Rutgers showing zone for the first time tonight. A little 1-2-2.
Had it blocked away. Now OKOSA trying to find the open man, but the Scarlet Knights adjust quickly. Off the skip pass, Farmer. Good look at it. Better look the second time.
Oh, he missed the shot straight along the baseline. So many times, if you're the shooter and you know where the ball's coming off, nobody put a body on him, able to follow his own shot.
Sherrod floating into the lane. McCoy, the follow wouldn't go the first time, and a foul call as he went up the second time. And what is going to go against Rasul Butler, his first.
You got to like the energy and bounce from McCoy. Had the block on the other end. See him staying with it right there on the offensive glass. 6'9" freshman. Shows a lot of potential and a lot of growth with this guy. He's just starting to scratch the surface.
It's his first collegiate free throw right there. And another try coming. 6'9", 205. A single season school record for block shots in high school. And 2 out of 2 from the line for his first 2 of the game. He'll leave now, and Ricky Shields will replace him.
We talked about Farmer following up on his own miss. Nobody there for Rutgers to step in and get in his way. Had a wide open path. That ball bounced on the floor. He picked it up. Don't get many easier offensive rebounds than that.
Well, if nobody's there to guard you on the shot, nobody's there to block you out after the shot.
That's a bad defensive assignment out of the zone.
Oksana controls the rebound, and Rutgers with a 1-point lead and the basketball. Joel Wiggin into the ball game now, freshman out of the Bronx, as is Kareem Wright. Coleman again. And Wright fighting for the rebound as it knocked away. Butler picks it up off the floor. And Coleman reaches in, comes up with a big steal. Second turnover for LaSalle. And Butler, quick hands right there. Knocks it away over the sideline. Ball will belong to Rutgers with 26 left to shoot. Once again, more about the definition as you see Joel Jean-Baptiste coming into the game, but more of the definition you see of Butler becoming a more complete player.
And you just look at his last stat. Last game, he had just 9 points. Last year, if he scored 9 points, he wouldn't have done anything else. Comes up with 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. That shows his complete game. He can do more than just score.
Shields with a big leap. A little bit too strong with a shot. And the rebound off the floor goes to Cleaves. Again, LaSalle can take the lead. Butler stroking the 3. Nice to be home again.
Yeah, it's good to be home. You get those nice friendly rolls. As you said, though, a good stroke. He's got good form, good rotation. Gives the ball a chance.
Wright came wide open, and Butler did not foul. Wright gets his first 2 of the game.
Now, defensive breakdown as they gamble for the cross-court pass. Little ball fake gets the defense moving. Wright finds himself wide open.
Both these teams are averaging in the 60s per game. We're on a pace for close to 100 right now.
Yeah, both teams come in shooting at 39%. Their offense has not been very pretty for either team through much of the season, but tonight they're executing.
And Butler stepped on the end line before the contact with Wright. So on the third LaSalle turnover, Rutgers gets it back again.
21, Julian Banks returns for Jeff Farmer.
And Farmer, who has already equaled his season and at his freshman year career high, get a break here with 8:50 to go in the first half. See the numbers. LaSalle shooting 53%. Rutgers has calmed down and cooled down after a very quick start from the outside. Wiggin on the dish. Shields can't get it to fall. And out of the scramble for the basketball, another held ball. Our second of the game, which means it'll belong to the Explorers.
And I'd say it's a scramble. Both these teams really getting after it on the offensive glass. Every time Rutgers comes up with a miss, it seems like they're able to keep the basketball alive on the offensive glass. Coming up with tips and good hustle by both teams to go to the floor.
The zone. LaSalle looking for the open shooter. There's Blanks trying to baseline, and the look down inside for Butler gets tapped away. Rutgers can run. Shields couldn't hang on and has to save it. That's Coleman for three.
Now, broken play. How many times do you see somebody spot up from three? Good hustle by Rutgers. Shields started the play off with the deflection defensively. One thing that Rutgers has done all season long is play with a lot of energy on the defensive end.
12 points for Coleman on 4 3-pointers, and now there goes the defense transitioning to offense again. Wiggin caught in midair for Shields. That two-pointer didn't go. And the track meet continues.
You see LaSalle unable to take advantage in transition. Talking to Billy Hahn, he said one of the most difficult things is we're not a very fast team. We don't beat people up the floor to get easy baskets. One of the reasons why they're shooting at 39%.
Godry's going to get called for the offensive foul as Wright stood in and took it. That's his first and the team's fourth. And Rutgers using the fast break, the broken play, and another three-pointer from Coleman to take this three-point lead. A timeout on the floor with 7:13 to go here in the first half of play. Rutgers Scarlet Knights behind Gary Waters, playing in their first official road game of the year, have themselves a three-point lead. Rutgers on top as Coleman is hit from the outside. And Coach Gary Waters says this is a guy who has a lot of confidence in that three-point shot.
Yeah, he was a junior college All-American, and he's not afraid to shoot the ball. It's not a shot he doesn't believe he can make or shoot. So what we're teaching him now is to play within our system and understand his shot selection. Beyond that, he can play the game of basketball. The biggest thing I like about him, he's not specifically a shooter. I mean, he can take the ball off the dribble, and he can also make plays by passing and making other people on the floor better. So now you're dealing more with a complete player, and I feel good about that.
Now Jerome Coleman hit 101 three-pointers in each of his 2 seasons at Cecil.
Now, pretty consistent, huh? One of the reasons why he scored over 1,200 points in 2 years.
LaSalle got some pressure in the backcourt now. LaSalle showing pressure.
I knew what you were talking about.
Thank you.
And that time, Mike Sherrod making a smart play. As the trap's coming, he back dribbles and creates some space between he and the double team, and then can attack the outside defender to force the foul. Sal comes out of the zone defense and picks up straight man.
On the inside, Kent. Can't get it. 2 big bodies in there in the lane. His right was also crashing the glass, but Rodri comes out with the basketball. Butler found the open man. Cleaves a little bit short. And a reach-in foul as he tried to hit the glass off the miss.
Well, as soon as Butler trailing on that play comes up to rise up and take a shot, 2 defenders running at him. Billy Hahn's got to like the unselfish play of Rasul Butler. He would have forced that shot last year. This year he's making the extra pass.
Second foul on Cleaves. 6th-team foul for LaSalle. Rutgers with a 3-point lead and the basketball as we come up on 6.5 left here in the first half. They're getting real tight with the calls, and Quadri gets called for the reach, and that's going to put LaSalle up over the limit.
Well, those two guys were bumping into each other the entire trip up the floor. One bump too many for Quadri.
His second. He did get that left arm in there and kind of impeded his progress. So that'll send Mike Sherrod, the sophomore, to the free throw line. And he misses on the front end of the 1-and-1. He had been a 58% shooter coming into that attempt. The lead remains at 3. Trying to throw behind, and Cleves just barely saves a backcourt violation.
And boy, Blanks has really been off his game here in the first half. Not only has he been silent offensively as far as scoring's concerned, but he's thrown the ball all over the place.
Shot clock at 2. Quadri just got it off in time, and Kent comes up with a rebound and a foul call now. It's going to go against Rasul Butler. His first. He'll walk it back the other end, and Kent's going to the free throw line.
Quadri with the shot clock running down, throws the ball up on the rim. See, they get tangled up, and Butler gets called for the foul. You see the push by Kent. Boy, that is a tough call against Rasul Butler. You see right there, pleading his case, saying, what did I do?
Now, from the replay, it would appear that the one thing he didn't do was commit a foul. But nonetheless, Rashad Kent will go to the line. This is also a very difficult part of his game that he has struggled with. And he continues this year.
He's shooting it at 45% from the foul line. That's an increase from last year. Last year he shot just 36% from the line.
He is 19 out of 42 this year, and for a guy who plays so much of his game inside, you can imagine what it would have done to his scoring totals in his career had he been able to hit these. There's the rebound and the putback for Shields.
And you know, one thing they talked about at pregame is, hey, every time that Kent's on the line, we're going to crash the basketball. For LaSalle, you know that's something they went over. When he's on the line, you got to make sure you concentrate. Don't allow a second shot.
There's OKOSA, and he walks. Giant step to try to start the drive, and turns into the 7th turnover for Billy Hahn's team.
Number 11,
Dwayne Jones, who started the game, comes back in, and Rashid Quadri will take a seat.
Butler back in. What was he out for, 10 seconds? That's about the way it goes. He's averaging 41 minutes per game so far this year. Billy Hahn's security blanket. Keep that guy on the floor.
It's not going to be a lot of time on the bench for Butler. Unless, of course, there's foul trouble. Pass across the lane anticipated by Blanks, and he knocks it over the end line. 21 left on the timer as Rutgers tries to build on this 7-0 run.
Well, Blanks nearly came up with the steal. The only problem is that it was Kent on the other end. He just bounced off Kent.
Ricky Shields, the inbound.
On the bench, Rutgers really does not have an outside scoring threat.
And Shields travels, trying to cut the defense in 2. That's 5 turnovers now for the Scarlet Knights.
Well, Shields and Wiggin want to put the ball to the floor and try and drive in and create mid-range jump shots. LaSalle's defense has been able to do a good job getting out and forcing them and then collapsing as soon as the ball's put to the floor. Ran out of real estate right there.
Sure looked like it. So turned it over one way or the other. Coming up on 4.5 left first half. Butler got caught in midair, and Dabney's going to convert this to an easy 2. Little showtime for Ricky Shields.
Butler hasn't had a ton of touches on the offensive end, and that was a force.
Chance to make it 11 right here, and Kent will. Contact, no call. Billy Hahn's going to call for a 30-second timeout to try to set his team again. Could not wait for the media timeout coming up as Rutgers has an 11-0 run to lead this one by 9.
And the run has been fast breaks. Their defense forcing turnovers and bad shots and then getting out in transition. Good job by Rutgers. Once again, this is a team that's played well defensively all season long. The quickness by Kent. He's got that deceptive quickness. He starts the break and finishes it with the dunk.
Let's take it down to Mick Monagoff. Mick.
All right now standing by with Greg Webster, class of 81 at LaSalle. Twice won to the NCAA tournament. How do you like the new and improved Rasul Butler?
He looks great, Mick. He really is taking better shot selection, I think, this year, hitting the boards. So I think he's really kind of focused this year. He looks great.
Also, Billy Hahn, new head coach, kind of infused this program, didn't he?
Well, Billy is really a dynamic, exciting guy. I think brings a lot of energy to the program. So we're trying to get behind Billy as best we can, and hopefully we're going to have a good run here.
Greg Webster, class of 81. Gentlemen.
Now the Explorers now trying to get back together offensively. And kind of a busted play there. Gets OKOSA the opportunity to break that 11-0 run.
Well, great read by Blanks. You saw both defenders coming out and trying to cheat to Rasul Butler. OKOSA was wide open, except he didn't slip the screen.
And now the quick defensive hand from Quadri, but could not knock it away. Shields for 3. Doesn't fall. And the rebound knocked out of bounds. Last touching the hand of Blanks. And it'll belong to Rutgers when we come back. 3 minutes, 18 seconds to go here in the first half of play. Gary Waters in search of win number 5 in a row as his team on top by 7. On top, 3:18 to go till halftime. Coming up at the half, CNH Sports Update with Bruce Casella. Look at the first-year coaches, Billy Hahn and Gary Waters, and a recap of this first half of play. Right back at it this weekend here on CNH. A special day at the Palestra, the Big 5 Classic. It is going to hit the Drexel Dragons up against this Salle Explorers team. And you take a look at Rasul Butler, who is playing there. That is game 1 of the doubleheader. And in game 2, the nationally ranked St. Joe's Hawks, led by Marvin O'Connor, will take to the floor against the Penn Quakers and that big front line, including Coco Archibald. Both games starting beginning at 1 p.m. Drexel LaSalle, number 24 St. Joe's against Penn, all from the Palestra. A special day for college basketball right here on CNA.
Quaker fans hope that Andy Toole's injury, a stress fracture to his foot, doesn't sideline him for that game. And
way inside, Dabney gets fouled, and he'll go to the line. Well, there have been some questions about what Andy Toole is going to be able to do, how long he's going to be able to go, whether he'll be able to come back quickly. And we saw how important he could end up being to that Penn team.
You see, when he's on the floor, they're just so much more confident with the basketball, and they're able to handle pressure so much better. He's made a huge difference for this team. Certainly, Inekwe and Archibong have been the guys up front, but it's been Toole who's keyed that 3-guard offense in the turnaround for Penn.
Quadri sits with his 3rd foul, so that is foul difficulty for him. And now Dabney's next free throw is good. 4 points for Eugene Dabney. And the Rutgers lead back up to 9 points. Salle came from 7 points down to take a 2-point advantage, and from that time on, it's been all Rutgers. OKOSA had it knocked away. Now Blanks resets it. The open man is Farmer. Short with a 3, but Jones with the rebound.
Now, smart play to kick it back out and reset. You're trying to break a run. You got to try and find Rasul Butler. Dabney's done a good job defensively on him.
Butler had it knocked away by Dabney. It's 2 on none. And a finger roll for Ricky Shields, who has 10 first-half points.
What Dabney does is he gives him a totally different look against Rasul Butler. Butler starts the game off with the much smaller Ricky Shields guarding him at just 6'4". Now all of a sudden Dabney at 6'10". It gives him a totally different look defensively.
And OKOSA is fouled by Rashad Kent. He tries to find position down on the block. Rutgers has stayed out of foul trouble in the first half. That's Kent's first and team foul number 5. He talked about Rasul Butler with a 6'10" player guarding him. He'd better get used to that. He plans to play after this year.
Yeah, he's going to see guys at 6'10" that can go guard him out on the perimeter at the next level.
Curling around the screen. Pretty play down the lane.
Well, Butler's the guy who sets the screen, and everybody focuses so much attention on him, it allows Jones an easy lane to the hoop.
Sherrod off the spin. Maybe trying to do a bit too much, and Jones with a tipped rebound.
Yeah, no question, Scott. That's a force, not the play you need from your point guard.
Speaking of which, Butler is making the cut, and the point guard blanks, tried to find the open man.
Well, Butler says he wants to do whatever it takes for his team to win. Right here, the nice screen. And again, the attention. You see, Dabney doesn't come off and challenge Jones because he's so concerned about Butler's ability to score.
Rutgers has outscored LaSalle 15-4 the last 8 minutes. This first half, we're under a minute to play. Shot clock at 15. Big first half of the Scarlet Knights. Great transition game. Now Shields with 4 on the timer. Caught in midair. Presence of mind to go to Sherrod, and he can't get it done. And the Explorers with the rebound on the basketball. Shot clock turned off.
Now time to reset and hold it back out for one shot.
They almost rushed themselves into another potential turnover and another transition opportunity. Blanks calling it out now as we approach 10 seconds. There's Jones. Too strong with it. Fight for the rebound. Coleman. Now that's out of even his range.
You want to hold for the last shot, but you want to make sure that it's a good shot. Once again, Rasul Butler has been limited as far as good touches on the offensive end coming down the stretch of the first half.
Let's take it down on the floor now to Mick Monagoff. Mick.
All right, thanks very much. Head coach Gary Waters. Good first half. You had the threes working early. Last 5 minutes or so, you really try to pound it down low.
Yeah, that's our game. Our strength is inside, and when they were in that zone, they kind of negated that a little bit, and now we're understanding we can go back in there. Let's go back and do it.
Defensively, though, it seems like you've been able to disrupt their trips down the floor.
Well, we're trying to. They're a good team. They're a good offensive team, and we haven't seen Butler yet. I mean, when Butler gets going, we got to worry about that.
All right, Coach, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
37-28, Rutgers leads LaSalle here at halftime. Coming up, Bruce Casella with CN8 Sports Update. Stay with us.
Rutgers leads LaSalle 37-28. The Scarlet Knights came into the Knights contest with a 4-2 record, while the Explorers, under new head coach Billy Hahn, are 3-4. Rutgers looking to win their 5th straight. Let's check out the first half highlights now, shall we? Early on, Rutgers gets off to a good start. Jerome Coleman drills the 3. Scarlet Knights up 20-13. LaSalle fights back. The freshman, Jeff Farmer, misses the baseline jumper, but follows his shot for the putback. Explorers take a 1-point lead. Now later in the game tied at 24. Ricky Shields saves the ball right to Coleman right there, and then he nails the 3-pointer. Bingo. Rutgers up by 3 at that point. And at the half, Scarlet Knights lead 37-28. More local college basketball tonight as Penn is hosting Villanova at the Palestra. The Quakers are turning some heads so far this young season with a 5-1 record and have garnered.
Well, tonight we're seeing 2 coaches who have relocated this season. Gary recently both told me what it's like to coach a new team.
After a successful 5-year run as head coach of Kent State, Waters comes to Rutgers with only one player he actually recruited. So is it really a big deal he didn't recruit his current team?
It is a big deal because when you go out and recruit players that are your players, normally they have accepted your philosophy. When you get a new group of young men that you have no control over from the time you get them until after that time, they don't understand your philosophy until you are able to teach it and instill it within them. And some of them may accept it, some may not, and that's what you have to deal with.
And with that in mind, can his team find its identity?
Every team should have some type of identity. Mine is that we apply pressure. And if the pressure is applied properly, you know you're playing a Waters team. Our people here, for our student groups, they came up with a name. They sent it out to the entire campus. What name do you want to have for Waters that you have, that you name your group? And they have named their team Water Pressure. So it's going to be pretty fun out there.
LaSalle's Billy Hahn was once a head coach at Ohio University, but for the last 12 years, he's been an assistant at Maryland. He has a reputation as a great recruiter, but now he must fight the rest of the Big Five and Drexel for local talent.
We'll challenge for the kids here, and it's just like anything else. You gotta get it going a little bit. I understand that. The more you win, the more the kids are more attracted to you. So we're gonna have to roll up our sleeves and get some players that believe in us, get this thing going again, and try to get it back to where LaSalle was. LaSalle's got great tradition, have had great players here, have had great teams here. So it's been done here before, and we just got to believe it's going to happen again.
And what's the trademark of a Billy Hahn team?
You got to play with a passion, and you want your fans, or you want the people that watch you play, that they go, man, those guys really play hard. They really play like they love the game. They really play with a passion.
And passion could be Billy Hahn's middle name.
Salle will have to have a little more passion and intensity here in this second half, as right now they trail that Water Pressure team of Rutgers by a score of 38-27. When we come back in a moment, we'll have stats, highlights, and a lot more, so don't go away. Stay with us right here on CNA.
It's official.
Top of LaSalle here at halftime, and what we see on that first half of play was really Rutgers shooting very well for the beginning of the first half, and then playing in transition, crashing the boards, really playing their kind of game.
Yeah, and the transition got them out on that run. They were able to do a good job defensively and then get some easy buckets.
They got easy buckets, and they also got a different kind of easy bucket, and that was coming from way outside off the hand of Jerome Coleman.
Yeah, he makes it look easy, huh? He's got great range and a terrific stroke. No matter what type of situation, even in transition, you may get out and find him in the three-point range.
The other side, Rasul Butler getting it done both inside and out.
Well, right here doing a good job early on of crashing the offensive glass. He also can show you that he can knock down threes, but he didn't get a lot of good touches late in the first half. LaSalle went from shooting at nearly 50% to their numbers came way down because Butler, their leading scorer with 9, didn't get enough touches as the half went on.
Coleman's 12 came all on three-point jumpers. Shields had a very good first half as well with 10 points, showed that great leaping ability. Really got it done for Rutgers to forge out to this first half lead. We'll take a break. We'll come back with more from Tom Gola Arena, where Rutgers leads it by 9 at halftime.
On the fifth
At halftime, let's take it down courtside to Mick Monaghan. Mick.